the heart of Kenya's economy, Safaricom and M-Pesa. Yo, Kenya, land of safaris, beautiful people, and a phone company running the economy? Hold up, let me explain. Safaricom, the telecom giant, is basically Kenya's financial overlord. They've got this thing called M-Pesa, right? It's mobile money, but like on steroids. Think Venmo, but your grandma in a rural village uses it to buy groceries. We're talking millions of Kenyans using M-Pesa daily, paying bills, sending money, even getting loans, all through their phones. Now here's where it gets wild. Economists are looking at M-Pesa data to understand Kenya's economic health. Because when you're talking about money moving, you're talking about the economy breathing. So, buckle up people. We're about to dive into the world of mobile money and what it reveals about Kenya's economic heart. Get ready for GDP, inflation, and all that jazz, but with a Kenyan twist. Because in this episode, M-Pesa is the star of the show. M-Pesa transactions, a barometer for Kenya's economic pulse. All right, let's talk numbers, people. Safaricom, every month, they're like boom, millions, billions, maybe even trillions of shillings flowing through M-Pesa. It's insane. And you know what? These transactions, they're like little clues about Kenya's economy. First up, GDP. That's gross domestic product, the big kahuna of economic indicators. More M-Pesa transactions usually mean people are buying and selling more stuff. That means businesses are booming, and that's good news for the GDP. Then there's inflation. When prices skyrocket, it's like the whole economy is on fire. But if we see M-Pesa transactions staying steady or even increasing, it could mean Kenyans are handling the heat. They're finding ways to keep the economy going. Finally, GDP per capita. This tells us how much money each Kenyan is making on average. Now, if M-Pesa transactions are going up, but GDP per capita is lagging, something's fishy. It might mean the wealth isn't spreading evenly. We'll get to that later. Riding the wave. Business transactions and national growth. Hold on tight because we're about to talk business. Specifically, business to consumer, B2C, and business to business, B2B. Think of it like this. B2C is when you buy a mango from a street vendor using M-Pesa. B2B is when that vendor uses M-Pesa to pay their mango supplier. Now, when these transactions go up, it means businesses are buzzing. They're selling more mangoes, buying more mangoes, and the whole mango economy is thriving. This, my friends, is directly linked to national GDP growth. More business activity equals a healthier economy. It's basic economics, people. But here's the thing. M-Pesa isn't just for mangoes, it's for everything. From buying clothes to paying school fees, M-Pesa is the lifeblood of Kenya's economy. So, when we see those B2C and B2B transactions soaring, we know Kenya's economy is on the right track. Section 4. GDP per capita. Unmasking the reality behind the numbers. Okay, so GDP is looking good, businesses are booming, but what about the average Kenyan? That's where GDP per capita comes in. It's like taking the economic pie and dividing it among everyone in Kenya. Now, if GDP per capita is growing at the same rate as M-Pesa transactions, that's fantastic. It means everyone's getting a bigger slice of the pie. But what if it's not? What if M-Pesa transactions are through the roof, but GDP per capita is barely budging? Well, that's where things get interesting. It could mean that while the economy is growing, the benefits aren't trickling down to everyone. It could mean that the gap between the rich and the poor is widening. And that, my friends, is a whole other kettle of fish. Section 5. The Gini coefficient in the age of mobile money. A tale of two Kenyas. Let's talk about inequality, shall we? It's a big word, but it basically means some people have way more money than others. And to measure this, economists use a fancy term called the Gini coefficient. Think of it like this. A Gini coefficient of 0 means everyone has an equal slice of the economic pie. A Gini coefficient of 1 means one person has the whole pie and everyone else is starving. Not cool, right? Now, here's where M-Pesa comes in. By looking at the volume of transactions among different user groups, we can get a glimpse into Kenya's Gini coefficient. Are the rich getting richer while the poor are stuck in the same place? Or is the wealth being distributed more evenly? M-Pesa data can help us answer these crucial questions. Section 6. Charting a more equitable future. Insights from Safaricom's data trove. So, we've looked at the numbers, we've analyzed the trends, and here's the bottom line. Safaricom, with its treasure trove of M-Pesa data, holds the key to understanding Kenya's economic soul. By analyzing transaction patterns, we can track inflation, monitor GDP growth, and even measure income inequality. This data is gold, people. It can help policymakers make informed decisions, support small businesses, and create a more equitable economy for all Kenyans. But it's not just about the data. It's about what we do with it. It's about using this information to bridge the gap between the haves and the have-nots. It's about ensuring that everyone in Kenya benefits from the economic growth fueled by mobile money.